I didn't realize it when I was writing, but my science fiction novel is a sports book. There's a bunch of AI and politics to keep things interesting, but narratively, the book is closer to Moneyball than it is to Star Trek. It's a funny realization, but an important one. The characters in a story should feel authentic to the genre they're in. Pieces of them should be drawn from real life, from the emotions and nuances of real competition. In the last few years, I've been a casual viewer of chess content. Game recaps, lectures, tournaments, all the popular stuff. Along the way, I found a few players and personalities that drew my attention and inspired me to write. Here are the most significant. Hikaru Nakamura. A story of achievement is great. A person from one particular background rising above their peers and climbing all the way to the peak of performance is cool, but it usually doesn't inspire me. I think it's because it feels inevitable. If we create a competition with 250 players, somebody's got to be the best, right? For me, the stories that draw me in aren't ones of instant success. They're ones of failure and the strength to rise again. In 2015, Hikaru Nakamura was the second best player in chess. In 2019, he had dropped all the way to 21st. That may seem small, but the gap was enormous, and the product of 3 years of decline. It's a mental game. Getting so close to the top, it's easy to coast. A person can lose their motivation, their drive for competing. Life gets complicated, new priorities arrive, old priorities sink. You can even forget why you started in the first place. After 3 years of decline, it can feel inevitable, like the natural lifespan of a career coming to an end. Why bother getting back in shape when the game is already over? But Hikaru Nakamura didn't give up. He started streaming. He built a better relationship with the game, and eventually he found a new reason to compete. Today, Hikaru Nakamura is back at number 2, and his chances of winning the candidates tournament are higher than they ever were a decade ago. I think I find a comeback story so inspiring for 2 reasons. 1, they're rare. But 2, they teach us life doesn't always turn out the same way for everyone. We can turn things around, rewrite our fate, outperform even our own preconceptions. In my novel, Zook Solensen is a washed-up strategy game grandmaster. He forgot what made him love the game. He got caught up in other things, teaching students and paying the bills, and he lost his self-confidence. But unique times and unique challenges give my main character a second chance. A chance to love the game again, and a chance to sharpen his strengths and become better than he ever was before. Because there's nothing better than a comeback story. Yasser Seirawan and Garry Kasparov. Back when I was studying chess, I'm not very good. I looked up a lot of lectures on YouTube. My favorite ones were from Yasser Seirawan. The man approached teaching with a childlike wonder for the game, an excitement to share his knowledge with anyone who wanted to learn. Yasser Seirawan has been an extraordinary player in the chess scene for 30 years. He was the second for Viktor Korchnoi in 1981, meaning he was the chief advisor for the challenger for the world champion title 40 years ago. And all of that was even before Garry Kasparov was on the scene. He's a player that has faced generations of players. He has seen the absolute best that chess has to offer and shares it with his students. When he describes how the game transformed with the advent of computers, it isn't theory, he witnessed it. What better mentor could there be? And then there's Garry Kasparov. In my previous video, I discussed at length the significance of Kasparov versus Deep Blue in inspiring my story. Now I want to briefly discuss another aspect of the man's character: politics. In 1984, just after Kasparov had won 2 consecutive games against the world champion, FIDE abruptly ended the match, citing player health. They cheated Garry Kasparov out of a world championship title, and he did not take it lying down. The thing is, Kasparov defeating Karpov wasn't just about chess. It was about the future of the Soviet Union, and the game was being watched by the whole world. Since then, the man has led protests, been arrested, and even been forced out of Russia. Every day he shows the boldness and courage most of us wish we had. In my novel, Yolniv is Zook's mentor. In the face of nearly unbeatable opponents, his decades of experience as both a player and a teacher help Zook discover the right strategies and refine them to a point. He never fears sharing his mind, and as the plot heats up, ancient history comes back to bite him. Danny Rensch. For a post about famous chess players, Danny Rensch might be a surprise. He's an international masters player, sure, but he's primarily known as the chief chess officer at Chess.com. And there's a very particular reason he's on my list. Danny Rensch dances on a very thin tight wire. Every day the man is both the face of his company and a key decision maker behind the scenes. To some extent, all the biggest leaders today have to walk this same tight wire. They show confidence at the investor meetings, then go to their offices behind the scenes and make the hard choices. It's a funny duality, but I find it more pronounced in Danny Rensch. When Chess.com hosts a major tournament, he's there. He's casting games, he's plugging products, he's hosting the live stream. He is an entertainer for hours on end. Most entertainers spend their whole careers developing the skill to keep people engaged. Danny only gets to do that for half the time. For the other half, he has to deal with the ugly side of business. When there's a controversy in the chess scene, he's in the room deciding how to handle it. When there's a clash between two players, he's mediating the reconciliation. When a tournament needs bigger names and bigger sponsors, it's on him. He plays both entertainer and decision maker. He's done it for years, and it's really extraordinary to watch. In my book, The Mind of Communication and Influence is the voice of the minds to the general population. Day to day, Influence is a newsman, a face on TV reporting to the people of Ion. But he's also one of the three minds. The weight of the executive rests on his shoulders. It's easy to get the wrong impression of a man like that. Either he seems shallow and entertaining, or duplicitous in the separation between his speech and action. But there's more than meets the eye to Influence. Final thoughts. There are plenty more characters in my novel, some undeniably inspired by other chess players and competitors more broadly. A Magnus Carlsen-based character is definitely hiding in my book somewhere. Anna Cramling might be in there somewhere too. With competition comes real people. Success for one means failure for another. Everyone who competes does so sincerely, and it's rare to get that kind of truth from a person these days. Virtues and flaws are put on display because anything less than giving it your all dooms you to defeat. And all that honesty makes for a great character. Quick legal disclaimer. Although certain figures in the Human Countermove draw inspiration from real chess players, the story is a work of fiction. The characters and their choices are not reflections or critiques of any real individuals. My book, The Human Countermove, is now available on Amazon. Check out the link in the description.